Hey Storm family, Coach Neil here welcoming you to our third Dryland tutorial video. I've got 3 exercises for you today. I've got the push-up, the backwards lunge with a streamline extension, and then I've got a reverse in and out. Just a quick note about the 3 exercises. The push-up is a fantastic exercise for swimming. It works on upper body strength and core stability. It takes skill and more than it does strength. And one of the things I just want to preface with the push-up is that the form of the push-up is by far the most important thing. I've been a little bit hesitant when it comes to incorporating the push-up to workouts with my seniors because of the need for proper form. And what ends up happening when a swimmer or any person doing exercises is either unfamiliar with the push-up or is lacking a little bit of flexibility, strength in their upper body or core, what ends up happening is they'll end up shortening the length of the push-up. And when you do that, and you do that over a long time, you're setting yourself up for 1, weakness in areas of the muscles, and 2, an increased chance of injury. So that's a big reason why I very gradually incorporate the push-up, and I'll explain what I mean as I'm demonstrating it. But the most important thing is a full range of motion and form to the push-up. And that goes for all exercises really, but especially the push-up because of the stress that it puts on the shoulders as swimmers. Swimmers tend to run into shoulder injuries, and push-ups can really exacerbate that and make that problem worse. So we tend to tread softly with it to try to make sure that we are avoiding injury, keeping swimmers as healthy as we possibly can throughout their entire career. The second exercise is a backward lunge with a streamline. This is a great leg exercise, and it also incorporates body position and flexibility in the shoulders. It's a great way to also simulate and remind yourself, your body, what the streamline feels like constantly, because when you do a streamline constantly over and over and over and hold that streamline for a long time, many of my senior swimmers and any swimmer really will comment that your arms get tired after a while. And so putting them in positions of, reminding your body, your arms what that streamline feels like really goes a long way, and it maintains that flexibility in the shoulders. And then the last exercise is a great exercise, the reverse in and out, which in this case, we're going to use one arm and one leg at a time. And what this exercise is great at doing is activating the posterior chain, which is an essential part of athletics. The posterior chain is essentially the muscles that start at the base of your neck, right here at your trapezoids, and is linked to all the muscles that run down your back into your lats, into your low back, into your glutes, your hamstring, your calves. When those are all working in unison, they and are very well developed and are prepared to go quickly, meaning that they can fire quickly and actively become aggressive and move quickly. That's a huge part in what makes great athletes great. And this exercise is going to do that, working on the full range of motion from your hamstrings to your glutes. It works on core stability in your low back, your abs, and your shoulders, as well as is going to work on a full range of motion in your trapezoids and your shoulders. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on the push-up. So got my mat back here. Okay, now let me just quickly demonstrate what oftentimes you will see with athletes that are still working on developing that upper body strength that allows them to have a full range of motion on the push-up. What will happen is they'll have their hands up above their head sometimes. Sometimes they'll have their hands in proper position, but they'll want to sort of stop short on the push-up. They'll get about this far and right here where it gets the hardest in the push-up, all right there where it gets most challenging, they either drop or they'll want to push back up and not go all the way down. both of which are not very effective for the exercise, okay? You don't want to have your hands up here, all right, unless you're doing a very specific type of push-up. But for the most part, for today's push-up, you're going to put your hands directly underneath your shoulders, and you're going to slowly descend down. And if you're able to stop just above the ground and push back up, that's a complete push-up. Now, if you have a little bit of difficulty with that, which is perfectly fine, we're going to be starting in an introductory level, there's a couple things that you can do, okay? One, all right, if you want to start from up here and very slowly descend down to the ground to work on building that strength and then relaxing at the bottom, that's going to go a long way towards building that range of motion. It's an eccentric exercise, meaning that the muscles are elongating as it's going down, okay? And then the other way that you can work on introducing the push-up is to be relaxed, lying on the ground. Notice my hands are off the ground, and then you put your hands directly underneath your shoulders, and then tense your abs, tense your hamstrings, make it as rigid as you possibly can, and then push up in one quick motion, all right? What you want to try to avoid is allowing your shoulders to come up, then your hips to come up in separate motions, okay? So that's what you're trying to avoid, all right? So basically you're trying to come down to the ground and then fire back up. Full range of motion, avoiding any short push-ups, okay? Next exercise, the backwards lunge with a streamline. Okay, so you're gonna start at the top of your mat, okay? Arms are going to be up here kind of at your side, just like this, all right? You're going to take a big step backwards and descend your knee all the way to just off the ground. And as you're doing that, you're going to extend into a tight streamline, okay? Now, what often swimmers will do is they'll be relaxed here. They'll kind of just sort of come up to here and think that that's good enough. Well, a tight streamline in swimming requires locked elbows. You'll notice that they're just behind my ears, okay? And I'm also not just relaxed here. I'm reaching up as high as I can, making myself as tall as I possibly can be. Okay, so you're gonna do big step, come down, extend into the lunge and streamline, okay? Just like that, alternating. Now, the great thing about leaving your knee off the ground as you do it is you're going to have all these muscles in your legs, your low back, and your glutes, everything firing, and that's just going to be a much more effective exercise. Okay, we discussed the same thing with the lunges with the track start in the previous video. The third and final exercise of this video is the reverse in and out. Now, the great thing about this one, as I talked about, is it activates the posterior chain. All these muscles in the back of your body here, your hamstring, your glutes, your low back, and then in addition with an arm exercise, an arm extension, it's bringing in your trapezoids, your lats, and it's keeping flexibility and stability in there, okay? So you're gonna get yourself into a tabletop position from yoga, all right? Notice my hands are directly underneath my shoulders, my knees are directly underneath my hips, all right? And then alternating or doing the opposite arm from the leg. So I'm gonna start with my right arm and left leg. Okay, I'm gonna extend the leg and the arm as high as they'll possibly go. And you're gonna come down, touch your knee to your elbow, and back up, just like that. Okay, and we'll go reps of those, somewhere between 10 to 12, perhaps more depending on the advanced skill level of the group. All right, so now we're doing the other side, the left arm and the right leg. Elbow to knee and back up. Elbow to knee and back up. Okay. Just a quick reminder, please start with the dynamic stretching warm-up before you get into the workout that incorporates these exercises. Over time, I will begin to mix up the exercises, so we won't necessarily do these 3 exercises together every single workout. And over time, we'll start to add in a 4th exercise to a workout and then change up the number of rounds that we go through it. The beauty of this is we're working on creating a progression so that as you get a little bit stronger, we add in a little bit more or a little bit different to the exercise or the workout, and that will make the workout that much more effective at training and keeping you fit, so that when we get a chance to get back in the water, we're going to be ready to go. Any questions, please let me know. I'm eager to hear feedback or thoughts on it, and stay safe out there. Go Storm.